you to know the person I am. I am a libertarian warrior. In 2011, I got sick, and that caused me to lose my job, which caused me to go to broke, which caused me to lose health care. My husband is an immigrant, and his chosen profession is a ship's captain. He cannot do his job because of the Patriot Act here in America. So you know what we did? We bought a house for $15,000 cash in St. Louis and moved there from California. It had no electricity, it had no plumbing, it had no heating, the doors and windows were boarded up, and it was winter. It was illegal for us to move in, but we did it anyway.
Yeah.
The first week that we were there, we got broken into. The police did not save us. My gun saved us. No one hires a sick person, so I started a business, and that's how we ate. My husband built our house board by board with his bare hands. It took us 2 years. That entire time, I did not have health care. The laws actually prevented me from getting it, and I got worse. Government interference with our health care system cost me my ability to have children, and I am mad as hell about it. I fought and I survived. Government only takes from me. Government tells me no, and government tells me I can't. It made it nearly impossible for me to escape abject poverty. Government hurt me like it hurts millions of people, like it hurts all of you. I survived. I got the strength to survive by becoming part of something bigger than myself, and that was the Libertarian Party. I devoted my life to fighting pernicious government. I fight in defense of my clients. I fight in defense of my family. I fight in defense of my country, and I fight in defense of myself. I am a libertarian warrior.
Short and sweet. Who did more damage, Bush or Obama, and why?
They're both pretty bad. Bush got us into 2 wars that we were still in, and he massively increased spending. He did the bank bailouts, and none of that has made anything better for us. Obama has doubled down on those policies. We've had Obamacare, we've had additional bailouts, we've had crony capitalism, and now we're in 2 more conflicts. Who's worse? I would say by a nose, it was Obama, because he took all of the failed Bush policies and then he added to them.
The question is, what role does culture play in creating a government that infringes our liberty, and what, if anything, can be done about it?
I think that culture plays a large role. People make decisions based on feelings and, in particular, fear. Fear is being used by our government to drive statist policies and to put people into power. It's hard to counteract fear because it's a major motivator for people. One of the best ways that we can do it is to talk in the same language of emotion, tell them that libertarianism is safe and it's compassionate and it's the way for prosperity and peace. If you can get people to believe that and believe that they do not have to live in fear and they do not need the state to protect them, then they will come to our team.
How much of practical politics can be derived from the non-aggression principle? What other principles must be added to the non-aggression principle in judging policy positions?
The non-aggression principle is an excellent rubric to measure all of our laws and our policies. Our laws, government is law, and our laws should not extend beyond natural rights, which is life, liberty, and property. When we have laws beyond those things, that's when we have atrocities, and that's when we have human rights and we have suffering. Human rights violations and suffering. That's when we have war. The problem with our government is that they have expanded beyond its primary purpose of protecting natural rights of its citizens and protecting the natural rights of the country into aggressive policies. If we could just reapply the non-aggression principle to our laws, we would have a major reduction of the state.
Should the U.S. be part of international organizations like NATO or the UN? Why or why not?
Treaties and associations with foreign countries is a good thing. We should, in fact, trade with other countries, and we should have friendly relationships and diplomatic relationships with other countries. That is how we stay in peace and not in war. The problem is we have become the world's policemen, and treaties are used as a justification for us warring on behalf of our treaty neighbors. So mission creep, I think, is a mild way of putting it. We need to revisit all of those treaties and determine whether or not we can use them in a peaceable way or whether we're just being used as the world's bully for our allies.
What would be the first politically achievable, emphasize that, reform in the tax code that you would fight for?
Well, I would like to just throw out the tax code. It's killing our economy, and it's a massive pile of regulations that nobody can understand. My own CPA, who's been doing it for 25 years, doesn't understand everything in the tax code. But if that's not politically achievable, then I would start with reducing the corporate income tax so that we can stimulate our economy by allowing entrepreneurs to get moving again and not taxing innovation and taxing labor.
As a Canadian, it seems to me that our Queen grants us about as much freedom as your president. Do you think that all the blood spilled in the American Revolution was therefore worth it? And when do you personally recommend armed rebellion?
You know, my husband's British, and we argue about this sometimes. Yes, I think the revolution was worth it. There is no king over me, and there never will be. Or queen. Our rights do not come from government. They do not come from the Queen. They come from the mere fact that we exist. Our rights come from our humanity. Life, liberty, and property. Nobody needs to grant that to me. It belongs to me, and it will until the day I die.
The question is this: does the term libertarian have a branding problem? And if so, what should we do about it?
Yes, I think there is some truth to the idea that there is a branding problem, but actually I think it's a communication problem. We're not telling people what libertarianism means in a way that they connect with, in a way that centers on their experience. But actually, more than that, I think that most people just don't know what libertarianism is. I'll give you an example. The other day, I went and got my hair cut. And my hairdresser said to me, "What's a libertarian?" I get asked that a lot. You know what I said? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. Libertarianism, it's the idea that you do not need to ask the government for permission to live your life.
That's good.
And then I asked her, how much money did you spend getting a license to cut my hair? How much money do you have to pay the state of California for the right to work? And she said, you know, a lot of money, and it's getting worse. And I said, libertarians, we think that you should be free to cut my hair if I ask you to, without you having to get permission for it. And she said, I can agree with that, and so did everybody else in that salon. So that So libertarianism, yes, the Libertarian Party is not as powerful as it should be because we're not getting the message out and we're not explaining it to the people one by one and telling them how government is impacting their lives and why they should be free from it.
All right, so now we're going to have closing statements.
So I've centered my campaign around this idea of compassionate libertarianism. That is not a change to the libertarian ideal. It's explaining to non-libertarians that freedom is the answer. Liberty means trust. It means trusting people to live their lives as they choose. It means trusting that when other people meet their goals, it's for the benefit of us all. Liberty means hope, because hope knows no bounds. Liberty means prosperity, because it frees our people to create and to innovate. They can innovate anything that you can imagine. Liberty means opportunity for the disenfranchised. It is only in a free country where anyone coming from anywhere can run for vice president. If you love your fellow man, you will want them to be free. You will want them to succeed or even to fail, because they are free to learn and they are free to grow, and that is how people become their best selves. That is why libertarianism is compassionate. If you choose me, I will proudly and passionately carry this torch of liberty. I am Alicia Dearn, and I not only approve the libertarian message, but I will fight for it.
Ask a Libertarian Facebook fan page is spreading awareness of libertarianism and informing non-libertarians while empowering those who support liberty on a daily basis. This is your opportunity to be empowered, and let us advocate libertarianism for you at facebook.com/askalibertarian.